college before leaving for Phoenix. The Suns have the best record in the league, but the Blazers have beaten Phoenix 2 out of 3 games this season.
It's going to be a tough game, especially being they just got beat by New Jersey by 30, and they haven't played since then. So I'm sure those guys are really going to come out very aggressive in our game. And I think, we've beaten them 2 out of 3 games, and they want to show that, that they're the ones who are leading the division and want to win it. And so it's going to be a difficult game.
We played Phoenix very well in the past, and I don't see any reason why we won't play them very well when we go down there to play them tomorrow.
Meanwhile,
in Phoenix, the Suns have stepped front and center this year as the NBA's dominant power in the West. Familiar faces have done their part. Dan Marley continues to fuel the engine with his trademark passion and fire. Kevin Johnson, though often sidelined by injury, still ranks as one of the league's most dangerous point guards. Charles Barkley leads the charge of new faces, adding a new dimension to the Suns' explosive attack. Danny Ainge offers his many years of big game experience and success in both Boston and Portland. And Richard Dumas, still sidelined with a severely sprained left ankle, has opened the eyes of many with his offensive firepower. But it's new head coach Paul Westphal, whose link with past Phoenix glory reminds all that being the best during the season is just the first step. Now, time is approaching for the giant leap back to the NBA Finals and a first-ever World Championship for the Suns. Tonight, live from America West Arena, the Blazers meet the Suns.
The Oregon Trail and the Trailblazers, a name carved from its history. Many Native Americans were encountered on the Oregon Trail: Pawnee, Sioux, Nez Perce, Umatilla, Cayuse, and Walla Walla. Those trailblazers soon found that the Indians were very helpful, if not necessary, to their survival, and trade soon developed. When they reached the Blue Mountains, members of the Cayuse tribe showed them the way over those mountains to the Whitman Mission. And those pioneers were forever grateful for the help the Indians gave them along the Oregon Trail. Walking 2,000 miles of unforgiving terrain alongside an ox-drawn wagon is almost beyond our imagination. Yet those trailblazers of 150 years ago did so with a grit and determination to reach their goals. A land of promise, a land of plenty, Oregon. Trailblazers basketball is brought to you by your area BP station. BP, on the move throughout Oregon. By Cellular One, the nation's largest cellular company. Imagine no limits. By the people at Nike, who encourage you to just do it. By Coca-Cola Classic, you can't beat the real thing. By Payless Drugstore, the drugstore worth talking about. And by GTE. GTE, proud sponsors of the Trailblazers. George Wash is the executive producer and director of Trailblazer Basketball, and J.R. Hellman is the coordinating producer.
It's Toyota's Simply Irresistible sales event. Your Toyota dealer has a big selection on the best. Choose Camry, the best car built in the U.S. Or Corolla, the best Corolla ever. Toyota quality plus option package savings on Celica and 4Runner make these Toyotas a great value. See your Toyota dealer now for the most irresistible cars and trucks.
You going to be painting soon? There are lots of stores that want to sell you paint. But buy where you can save on everything to do your job, like Fred Meyer. You'll not only find low prices on paint, but masking paper and tape, brushes and putty knives. And there'll be people like Jack Platt to mix the exact color you want from over 6,000 shades of America's favorite high-quality paint, Glidden. And you always get the added convenience of one-stop shopping. So go ahead, build it, fix it, paint it. You'll find it at Fred Meyer.
Dr. Graney, the baby's coming now. You got to send an ambulance.
David, we can't wait for an ambulance. Now listen to me.
She's in a lot of pain.
Now calm down. She's going to be okay.
I don't think I can do this.
You can do it, Dave.
Just a reminder, with every GTE phone system, you can get a comprehensive service plan and the right people to back it up.
The head.
This is it, David. Put your hand under the head. Guide it out.
Because some business calls
It's out.
are just too important to miss.
How do you order Miller Genuine Draft Light, the cold filtered light with smooth draft taste during the big game? Say GD Light and say no more. How do you order Miller Genuine Draft Light, the cold filtered light with smooth draft taste at a rock and roll club? Hey, give me a GD Light. Say GD Light and say no more.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and basketball fans wherever you may be. This Wednesday night here in Phoenix, Arizona, arch rival Portland and the Phoenix Suns. You know what time it is, folks. You know the guy that does this. It's March Madness time. It's basketball time everywhere. Steve, March Madness going on with the Suns.
Different kind of March Madness as they have a little bit of deja vu. When Portland came in the first time, Chicago had beaten them soundly. Westfall walked off, didn't like the intensity. This time around, the New Jersey Nets spanked them by 31. Kevin Johnson took exception to that in practice with Tim Kimpton. They had a little tussle. They think that they need to see their defensive intensity return. Expect an aggressive game from Johnson and his teammates tonight.
Intensity, the personality of the Trailblazers. 23 games to go. If they play like they did the other night, could be a nice rest of the season.
Intensity is the nickname for Jerome Kersey, and if he can remain at the level that he displayed in the second half against New Jersey with the season-high 13 rebounds, Portland will be tough to handle. They got to stay close early.
All right, my friends, that's it. NBA basketball this Wednesday night here in Phoenix. Don't go away. We're going to be right back.
Reaching for more, just a reminder, it's what's inside that counts. Diet Coke, taste it all.
It's no accident that the land of opportunity is open 24 hours a day. The good life is available, but they don't hand it out on the platter. It's no accident either that Bank of America has convenient branch hours, a 24-hour customer information line, and a Versateller ATM everywhere you turn throughout the West. Hard as America works, you could use a little easy. Banking on America. Bank of America.
Style, fashion, more in store for you, and better than ever before. Catch the excitement at The Lodge, our spectacular new food court. It's the best of taste with 8 great new restaurants, something for everyone.
How do you order Miller Genuine Draft Light, the cold filtered light with smooth draft taste during the big game? Say GD Light and say no more. How do you order a Miller Genuine Draft Light, a cold filtered light with smooth draft taste, in a bar that's having a slow night? That's okay. We'll tell you. Say GD Light and say no more.
This Wednesday night, St. Patrick's Day. It's the Portland Trailblazers and the Phoenix Suns. The introduction of both teams here in Phoenix, Arizona. They turn down the lights, and you can see what they do. In a brand new building, they really have a good time getting it put together. This Wednesday night, St. Patrick's Day, as the lights come back up here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's time for arch rival and Portland and the Phoenix Suns. Steve, highlights tonight.
Well, you know, when you talk about this game, you're talking about a fast-paced game. And what Portland does not want to do is double-team Charles Barkley all night long and turn the three-point shooters loose. Get Tom Chambers, Cedric Ceballos, Kevin Johnson easier opportunities. If you're the Phoenix Suns, on the other hand, you've got to get off to an aggressive start. This is a team that has been concerned about their defensive energy along with their offensive enthusiasm. It will be interesting to see if either one of these teams can create cheap baskets.
Well, Charles Barkley came up to us a short while ago. He had some things to say on this St. Patrick's Day, didn't he?
Well, what Charles asked me was, how many games are Portland behind now? 9. They're going to be 10 after tonight. Charles is taking a personal challenge every time he sees Portland to try to send a message. You should have traded for me.
That's right. I wanted to be in Portland.
Because you didn't, I'm going to do all I can to keep you from having success. Watch that matchup, Williams and Barkley. In the game in Portland, Charles Barkley was a perimeter player. I'm sure he's going to be more aggressive in trying to challenge Buck Williams. We'll see how Buck adjusts his defense.
I want to find out. I want to find a way out.
Nobody in America has ever disliked Saturdays. A day to fool around, even if that means pounding the dents out of an old fender. But sometimes you still need to get your money. That's why Bank of America is now open 9 to 1 on Saturdays. Because you should be able to do anything you want on Saturdays. Even go to the bank. Banking on America. Bank of America.
Country goes with Western. Rock goes with roll. And with Miller Sharps, you get all the crisp, refreshing taste of a great beer without all the alcohol. So the great beer taste of Sharps goes with anything, anytime.
Patrick's Day here in Phoenix, Arizona. The Suns, who got whipped the other night, as of the moment are putting a whipping on the Portland Trailblazers, led by Barkley and Kevin Johnson, and off the bench Tommy Chambers, and they have a 20-point lead over the Blazers at the halfway mark. Yes, it is St. Patrick's Day, and I wonder what Mike Rice has to talk about today. You only got a minute or so, Mike, so you're on, my friend.
It's that time of year again, St. Patrick's Day, and everybody is wondering who's going to play whom in the NBA first round and who's going to win that NCAA championship. Stay tuned, Shawns. In the next minute or so, I'm going to give my forecast. Let's start off with the NBA first round in the playoffs. It's going to be number 1 seed and division champ Phoenix at 62-20, going against the 8th seed LA Clippers at 45-37. In that same bracket will come San Antonio, finishing the season 51-31 against our Portland Trailblazers at 50-32. That's just one game from having the home court advantage. In the lower bracket, we have number 2 seed and division winner Houston, 53-29, going against the 7th seed LA Lakers at 47-35. And the last of the bracket, number 3 seed Seattle, 55-27, going against Utah at 50-32. So those are the brackets Portland needs to exchange places with San Antonio for that first home court advantage. All right, let's go to the NCAA playoffs. The Final Four, well, it's going to be Michigan playing Florida State. Florida State knocked off Kentucky to get there. And then it'll be Duke, which defeated Indiana, playing Cincinnati. And in the final two, it's going to be Michigan and Duke. The Fab Five get a little revenge from last year. Michigan will be our national champs. Well, Shawns, I know you're going to think this is all coming on April Fool's Day, but this is no blarney. It's just the facts. Those are the forecasts. All right, coming up, a short historical vignette on women moving west on the Oregon Trail.
In celebration of the 150th anniversary of Portland Trail Blazers and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written permission of the NBA and the Portland Trail Blazers is prohibited.
I'm Monica Spolstra, and welcome to Halftime. Telling kids that their education is important is one thing, but getting them to believe it is another. That's why the Blazers and Avia have teamed up to present Blazer Avia Scholastic Improvement Concepts Program, commonly known as BASIC. The program allows teachers to reward students with special certificates, Blazers tickets, and Blazers merchandise for their extra efforts in the classroom. Headed up by program chairman Clyde Drexler, BASIC boasted record-breaking success this year. The reading, fitness, and improvement segments both enjoyed a participation increase of more than 50% compared to numbers from last year. The Write-On Essay competition also garnered a lot of support this year, and the winners will be honored at the April 18th Blazers San Antonio game. Many thanks go out to Oregon and Southwest Washington educators and administrators, the International Reading Association, Bank of America, and Avia for helping make this year's program yet another success. Coming up next month, fans will have the chance to join their favorite Blazers for a pre-playoffs party in the Coliseum. It's called the Miller Genuine Draft Blazers Bash, and here's a look at what we have lined up for that special evening. Set for April 12th, the bash will feature humorous sports impressions and anecdotes by ESPN's Roy Firestone. Then fans will enjoy the presentation of team awards, video highlights on the big screen, and other great entertainment. Tickets are only $5, and concessions will be available all evening. Tickets are on sale now at all Ticketmaster outlets. Proceeds from ticket sales will benefit the Portland Park Bureau's Basketball Courts Rehabilitation Program. And in closing, you have a chance to meet Cliff Robinson. He'll be at Blazers on Broadway in downtown Portland this Saturday from 3 to 4 p.m. That's it for this part of Halftime. We'll be back with more after this.
Miller Genuine Draft. It's cold filtered. That's how we keep our commitment to everyone who knows that draft beer is real beer, pure beer, the best beer. It's why so many people can enjoy a beer whose taste hasn't been changed by heat pasteurization, and why so many people are making a change of their own to the genuine draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold.
So, how's the sandwich, Chef?
Oh, very funny.
Come on, we both agreed brown bagging was a good way to save money.
Fine. What are you doing to save money?
I go to Payless Drugs.
Shopping.
For Payless private label products. Same ingredients as the name brands, but a lot less expensive. They make everything, even antacids.
What are these for?
Oh, I think you'll need them if you're going to eat that sandwich.
Oh, this isn't my lunch. It's yours.
Payless, the drugstore worth talking about.
It's Toyota's Simply Irresistible sales event. Your Toyota dealer has a big selection on the best. Choose Camry, the best car built in the U.S., or Corolla, the best Corolla ever. Toyota quality plus option package savings on Celica and 4Runner make these Toyotas a great value. See your Toyota dealer now for the most irresistible cars and trucks.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I Love What You Do For Me by Fred Meyer Store. Value for your time and money. You'll find it at Fred Meyer. By your area BP station. BP on the move throughout Oregon. By the people at Nike who encourage you to just do it. By GTE. GTE, proud sponsors of the Trailblazer. And by Miller's Sharp. All the taste of a great beer without all the alcohol.
Good evening, I'm Tracy Berry.
And I'm Steve Abrams with his halftime news update. More than 100 Tigard teachers got their pink slips today. Measure 5 budget cuts means they'll be out of work. And that's just the beginning. Tonight, the Tigard School Board meets to decide what program cuts will have to be made.
Figuring out a way to save high school sports from budget cuts was a major topic at a meeting of coaches from around Oregon today. We'll find out what they had to say.
Some serious problems for Monmouth, Oregon residents tonight. Health officials suspect there is asbestos in the water there, and it's warning people not to drink it. We'll find out how people are getting by and what can be done to fix that problem.
And another health issue tonight. The government says it will probably never figure out where the contaminated meat came from that started the E. coli outbreak at Jack in the Box restaurants, but it is promising better inspections. Join us for those stories, plus we'll drop by some local St. Patrick's Day celebrations, and Joe Satilli will take a look at the week ahead. That's all coming up tonight on News 8 at 11.
Phoenix outscoring Portland 40-28 in that second period, and at the break, they lead by 20. Highlights, Steve.
It was a wide-open game, and one in which you had to be able to score the basketball, and the Phoenix Suns had a better idea of where they wanted to score. They were aggressive, and at the start of the ball game, you get Terry Porter whistled with a flagrant foul. Out of that, some pushing and shoving with Barkley being assessed a technical, but they set the tone early. They were the aggressors, that they dominated the glass, they ran out, they were able to do whatever they wanted to do. The mystery is, why wasn't Portland emotionally ready to play the ball game, knowing that this team had just come off a blowout? Barkley saying, where was the foul? Cliff Robinson, one of the bright spots that he demonstrated early is his ability to drive the ball, make something happen. He's got to try to do more of that in the second half against Barkley and Tom Chambers. Leading scorers, Porter and Robinson, the only ones in double figures for Portland. You look at that balance for the Phoenix Suns. Barkley and Chambers, big numbers in the second quarter of play. Marley got in there too as well. Rebounds, not a lot of them on the Portland side. Buck Williams has most of them, and Barkley leads the Phoenix Suns, but Sabalos has been gobbling up offensive rebounds. The percentage, that favors the more aggressive team. The offensive rebounds, the total rebounds, and points off turnovers, it's been something in which Portland has not found an edge in many categories, and they've got to come out. They want to represent themselves in the next 12. They've got to become the aggressors and try to get this ball game down to a 10-point game.
Imagine no longer being bound by the limits of your telephone. Imagine personal communication no longer tied to a home, an office, even a car. That's why Cellular One is building a new cellular network across North America. Imagine what that freedom can mean to you, to all of us. To reserve your number, call our number, 1-800-IMAGINE.
What do you do when a doorknob comes off in your hand, or a switch stops switching, or that dripping faucet turns into a river? Just go to Fred Meyer. They're open later, and you can find those little parts when you need them. That's because of people like Bryce Hitchcock, who checks and orders stock daily. Because Bryce knows if you're out of, say, 90-degree elbows, you can't finish your job. And where else but Fred Meyer can you pick up all the other things you need at the same time? Build it, fix it, paint it. You'll find it at Fred Meyer.
Genuine draft.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
If you make electricity from coal, you got to worry about CO2, carbon dioxide, because it may contribute to global warming. Scientists aren't sure how big a problem this is, but we're not going to wait around for them all to be sure. We're going to Do something about it now. We're going to plant trees, lots of trees. We're going to start with some pilot projects to see how well this technique works. The reason we're doing it, carbon dioxide is absorbed naturally by trees. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. Get a shovel, dig a hole, put the tree in green side up. That's it.
It's no accident that the land of opportunity is open 24 hours a day. The good life is available, but they don't hand it out on the planet. It's no accident either that Bank of America has convenient branch hours, a 24-hour customer information line, and a versatile ATM everywhere you turn throughout the West. Hard as America works, you could use a little easy. Banking on America. Bank of America.
I want to find out. I want to find out what I can't find in.
Well, we're finally here.
You're sure you packed everything?
I'm sure.
You always forget something.
Not this time. I got it all at Payless Drugs.
Your prescription?
The pharmacist gave me a lower price generic. Good thing, considering how much this vacation is costing me.
You always forget the film.
I got it at Payless.
My moisturizer?
Payless.
You actually remembered everything?
It's all in the suitcase.
Oh, you didn't.
Looks like I did.
Payless, the drugstore worth talking about.
It's Toyota's Simply Irresistible Sales Event. Your Toyota dealer has a big selection on the best. Choose Camry, the best car built in the U.S., or Corolla, the best Corolla ever. Toyota quality plus option package savings on Celica and 4Runner make these Toyotas a great value. See your Toyota dealer now for the most irresistible cars and trucks.
We couldn't make the day any longer, or the distance between people any shorter. But at Cellular One, we can give you the freedom to go where you want to go, and never be out of touch with the people who are most important to you. That's why Cellular One is building a new cellular network across North America. To reserve your number, call our number, 1-800-IMAGINE.
Making it to the pros takes a certain level of excellence, the experience to get the job done right, and a reputation for quality. Like top quality belts from Gates, the one thing people overlook most on their cars is the belt. Remember to have your belts checked regularly, and insist on quality Gates belts from CarQuest. So for the best possible performance, install what the pros install. CarQuest. Welcome to the pros.
Style, fashion, more in store for you, and better than ever before. Catch the excitement at The Lodge, our spectacular new food court. It's the best of taste with 8 great new restaurants, something for everyone.
BP's research and testing tends to leave an impression on most visitors.
4th floor, aviation fuel research. 6th floor, marine fuel testing.
And we put this research to use in a very practical place, your local BP station.
Pizza for Todd King. Top floor.
Top floor, space research.
BP, on the move.
Phoenix Suns win their 47th game of the year, and the Blazers lose their 24th, and they lose it big to the Phoenix Ball Club, who had a big second quarter to take a 20-point lead at the halfway mark, and they win it by a final score of 129 to 111. Ladies and gentlemen, the Miller Brewing Company wants you to think when you drink.
open to a beer brewed from the start. To be the one great tasting beer that's less filling, there's one beer to open. Miller Lite. It's everything you want a beer to be.
In Oregon, you don't have to be somebody or know somebody to get into the art, movie, music, and dining scene. You just need the Oregonian to tell you where it's happening. Or in some cases, where it's not.
Where do you go for life's little emergencies? Say the trap under the sink gives out. Luckily, Fred Meyer's nearby and open longer hours. Sure, there may be bigger home centers, but what's important is you get what you need when you need it. You will at Fred Meyer because of the dedication of people like Dina Renner, who check constantly to make sure those emergency items will be there for your emergencies, even at 9:40 at night. Build it, fix it, paint it, and get one-stop shopping. You'll find it at Fred Meyer.
Trailblazers basketball has been brought to you by Fred Meyer. Values for your time and money. You'll find it at Fred Meyer. By Alaska Airlines, rated best in the U.S. by frequent travelers. By ODS Health Plan, partners in sickness and in health. By Bank of America, proud sponsors of the Trailblazers. Banking on America, Bank of America. By Miller Genuine Draft, it's cold filtered. Get out of the old, get into the cold. And by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. Information on how you can join in the celebration of the Oregon Trail's 150th anniversary. Call this number.
Now, the Trailblazer postgame show. Tonight's postgame show is brought to you by your local Chevy Geo dealer, the Portland Trailblazers, and the Chevy S10 Blazer, two proven winners. And by True Value Hardware. You can do it with True Value Hardware Store.
Beauty and the Beast, I'll give you a choice, John. Which one do you want to be?
Well, we were not very beautiful tonight. Phoenix came out and really did what they do best. They run the ball so well, and they're a fast-breaking team. And if you look at the rebounding, that tells it all in a nutshell. They just killed us on the boards, and we weren't able to get back. We didn't make a transition. Defense wasn't real good, and We missed some shots in the second quarter. We allowed them to run out, and really they played well, and we just couldn't keep up with their onslaught offensively.
You knew coming in this was going to be an aggressive effort. They had been spanked by the Nets. Where was this team emotionally? Because they seemed like jello tonight, and they just got ran through.
Well, we talked about that this morning. We talked about their effort, how they were going to come out, and they're a very good team, so they were going to respond, and we knew it coming in. We just couldn't match them effort-wise, and we just couldn't get up to their level of play tonight.
This is a team that you need to score points against. It seemed like there was a lot of confusion as to where to get that point production.
Well, we couldn't get anything consistently. You know, we went inside in the first half. We couldn't get anything down. We had open jump shots. We made some, but we didn't make enough consistently to stay in the game, and I think the second quarter was really the telling tale.
Well, the second quarter and Tom Chambers were the difference. You got a game on Friday night. We'll see how that goes against the high-flying Rockets. We'll be back with a look at highlights and stats right after this.
An observation, the 1993 Geo Metro and a Camel. The Metro gets the best gas mileage of any car in America. This guy runs on water. Standard features here include a 5-speed transmission, 3-year 36,000-mile warranty, 24-hour roadside assistance, and a really, really small price. He comes standard with one hump, 2 tops. So maybe comparing Metros to Camels is a bit unfair, but you ought to see what happens when we compare a Metro to another economy car. Hurry on in. We'll show you what all that savings gets you.
Hey, Pat! Willard, what are you doing here? Shopping. Yeah, me too. Can't resist True Value's great prices, huh?
Well, you know, it's a personal service I like. You just can't get that at those big chain stores.
Yeah, and with 7,000 stores buying together, they sure have some great prices.
You already said that.
Yeah, but it's true, Pat. These are great prices.
With great service.
And great people.
Like a family.
Does this mean we're brothers?
Well, let's say cousins.
Cousins?
Twice removed.
For being our post-game guest tonight, John Wetzel will receive a $100 gift certificate from our good friends at True Value, your store of first choice. Some of the highlights, Steve, all Phoenix.
Well, it was all Phoenix. It was a game in which the Suns dominated. That play right there is a play that eventually cost Duckworth any opportunity to play. He thought that he got fouled on the play. The Suns just continue to come down and score an open court. You see that Barkley said, if you're going to take a charge, get in here and take one, son. And for the second time tonight, Tracy Murray was trying to draw a foul but never stood his ground. And the story of the night, just banging the glass and banging it all night long. Portland rarely gets beat this soundly on the glass. One of the few bright moments there. Big offensive putback by Cliff Robinson. But for the most part, you can see the defense just wasn't there. The concentration, the energy, the intensity only came in spurts. And every time Portland made a mistake, Sabalos, Barkley, Chambers, Johnson made them play. Good hustle play by Terry Porter. One of the few long-distance attempts that he got to go in. He was the other half of Portland's scoring combination. Charles Barkley on the fly. You know, and if you can't get to Barkley before he gets that close to the rim, that's what you're going to get, is he puts that six-shooter away. But the offensive energy of the Phoenix Suns was much higher than the Trailblazers. They just caved them in at almost every moment. You can see that they beat Portland to every loose ball. Sabalos, who had a career-high scoring against Sacramento, came back tonight with a career-high rebounds with 14. So we'll be back with a look at the numbers right after this.
Hi, Pat Summerall here at True Value, where the main attraction is personal service. Or is it low prices? Well, let's find out.
They do have sales, and you can tell it's a sale price. It's not just a few pennies. It's a real sale.
I like their quality and their service.
You look for that one star and you trust it, and that's where you go.
For personal service and low prices, bring your family to ours, the True Value family of stores.
Everything I needed to move into my new house, I bought right here.
A comparison. The 1993 Chevy S10 Tahoe. And, well, Tahoe. This one offers you up to $1,900 on option savings. This one's got lots of trees and lots of Californians. We're talking serious savings here because to that $1,900, we're also throwing in a $750 rebate. This one's got a lake. Now, if you think these differences are great, that's nothing. You should see when we compare our Tahoe to another truck. Hurry on in. We'll show you what all that savings gets you.
The numbers aren't too good, Steve.
Well, the numbers just don't talk about intensity or effort or energy, which the Trailblazers didn't have very much of. They were dominated in most categories. We're having a little bit of trouble getting those numbers together for you. But
rebounding, 64 rebounds, 21 off the offensive glass for the Phoenix Suns. Big story.
Yeah, that was a huge story. We take a look at the leading scores. Porter and Robinson, Bryant, Christianelli finished in double figures, but you look at the balance, the damage done by 3 players plus 20, Barkley, Ceballos, and Chambers. Chambers off the bench. Rebounds, Buck Williams did not get another. He was leading Portland at the intermission with 6. Ceballos, a career high. Barkley added a couple more. They had everybody banging the boards, and you look at the final numbers, and you just shake your head when you say 64 rebounds. A lot of them at the offensive end, put back, so the percentages didn't really make that much difference tonight.
And Blazers shoot just 42% for the night and get out-rebounded 64-34.
Well, they'll have to bounce back. I mean, and again, as I said, the rule of thumb in the NBA is that when you get blown out, you usually come back and respond. They got a tough ball game coming up on Friday night against those Houston Rockets.
Right, and they might be on a 15-game winning streak. Houston on Friday night, and then our next cable game, the Boston Celtics on Sunday. It's a 5 o'clock game. To order pay-per-view, call your local cable company. Phoenix did it tonight and did it in a big way, and that's about it. Thank you, my friend.
Well, we'll say good night, and we'll be ready on Friday night.
We'll be ready on Friday, and hopefully the team will be as well. To all of you, wherever you may be, from Phoenix, Arizona, Bill Shinley, good night. Tonight's post-game show has been brought to you by your local Chevy Geo dealer, the Portland Trailblazers and the Chevy S10 Blazer, 2 proven winners, and by True Value Hardware. You can do it with True Value Hardware Store.
Nice fight. The Blazers would have been knocked out in the first round. The first half was rougher than a hard time. They got to pushing and shoving in the first quarter. Porter with a flagrant foul. Technicals on Barkley, Kersey, and Ceballos. Then Buck Williams goes flying into the Blazers bench almost head first. Then Cedric Ceballos hits the deck. The Suns led 29-21 after 1. And here in the second, Chambers stole Ellie's pass. Chambers got it to Kevin Johnson. Johnson to Thunder Dan Marley. 42-29 Suns. Then more rough stuff. Cliff Robinson goes upside Chambers' head. Chambers looked like Boogaloo Watts hit him. Then Barkley stole Robinson's pass. Barkley to Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson to Marley. And the Suns led 69-49 at halftime. Third quarter. And Barkley with a one-handed behind his head pass to Ceballos slam dunk. Then Barkley just embarrassed Tracy Murray. First Barkley dunked on him, and then he got in Murray's face. You know Murray wasn't going to do anything about it. Duckworth got kicked out for belly aching. It's all over. The Suns led by 18 after 3, and then Phoenix really got mad. Look at Barkley. Just bad news and hard times, baby. 129-111 Suns the final, but it wasn't that close. It's the first time in a year that the Blazers have lost 3 straight on the road. It's a season-high 14 rebounds for Ceballos. Not much reason for optimism for Blazers fans. Now, what a goofy ball night.
Well, this one was ugly. Not only did Phoenix outscore Portland, they out-rebounded the Blazers by 30 rebounds. There is no way a team can win when out-rebounded by that many. Cedric Ceballos scored 24 points, 11-4 Phoenix after he hit this one early in the game. And believe it or not, the game was over after that. Phoenix testy after getting blown out by 31 points Saturday against New Jersey, and they took it out on Portland. Terry Porter led the Blazers with 22 points to follow here, but this one was over when Tom Chambers took over in the second quarter. Chambers with 12 in the period, 24 for the game. In fact, this one was so ugly that they stopped putting up the score after baskets, just saying, like right here, Portland trails by 26. Yeah, the killer was the rebounding stat.
Come out, after a tough loss like that at home, they came out really aggressive, and most of the first half, I thought we met their aggressiveness. They did a great job, though, of killing us on the boards.
Well, with the shots that we were getting, we were getting a lot of jump shots. It didn't really allow, a lot of movement for us to really get to the boards, and they did a good job at at moving the ball and create movement for themselves. And it's going to be easy for teams to get to the boards when there's a lot of movement.
What's
111. Suns are 27-3 at home. They were coming off a big loss against New Jersey, so you knew they'd be ready. And early on, tempers flared. Kevin Johnson went down. Both teams had words. There's some pushing and shoving. This was Phoenix night. Watch Dan Marley with this shot. Misses it badly, but it bounces in off the top of the backboard. He had 18 points. Blaze, as I mentioned, never in this one. Buck Williams, though, with a nice jam on the baseline. And then it's Cliff Robinson coming in the other way, and he hammers it down. But Phoenix in control. Charles Barkley with a great pass. Cedric Saballo slams home 2 of his 22. Blazers were frustrated. Kevin Duckworth gets ejected in the second half. And then off the break, it's Charles Barkley who scores, and he is fouled. The Suns win it big, 129-111. The season series now tied at 2 games apiece.
They did all the things they had to do. We got killed on the boards, even when they missed shots. And they pushed the ball right at us. They did what they had to do, and we didn't put up a lot of resistance.
Meanwhile, Shaquille O'Neal